Everyone, are you ready for the House of Commons to come back? My goodness, it feels like a long time because it really has been a long time. Do you want to see how long? This is the last half of 2019. It's been a long time since the House of Commons has been in session. I mean, sure, they had almost 2 weeks in December, and there was an election, right? October 21st, there was an election. So campaigning, but my goodness, our hardworking parliamentarians, hey? Right. So next week, the House will resume, and we'll see how long she lasts. A lot of people say 18 months is the shelf life of a minority government. We'll see. A lot of first elected MPs are looking to make 6 years in government. 6 years means pension, right? Pension means golden parachute, man. You get a nice retirement, and you've served your country, et cetera, et cetera. So a lot of people, there's incentive for this government to last, let's just say. How's that? So looking at the power of the opposition and the potential for another election, who could be the leader? Pierre Poilievre's out, Rona Ambrose is out, and Michelle Rempel has not yet bowed out. But here's a tweet about Michelle. She's virtue signaling away, maybe to position herself for a better position than the finance critic. I don't know. But here she is. Ahead of her caucus meeting, Conservative MP Michelle Rempel says prospective leadership candidate Richard Decaire should be disqualified for his comment that being gay is a choice. I think it's really interesting what the media fixates on. This whole thing, like Pierre Poilievre coming out and saying being gay is not a choice. Of course, he's no longer running for leadership, so he won't be commenting on things like that anymore. But isn't it interesting the things our press turn themselves inside out over, and even like other parliamentarians getting upset about this stuff? It has nothing to do with running a country. Nothing to do with running a country. Nothing. And speaking of the power of the opposition, it looks like Peter MacKay is probably going to be the next leader of the Conservatives. And it looks like Justin Trudeau's set for another easy election. Milk toast, meet elite milk toast, right? Like Peter MacKay, you're not winning. You're not winning against Justin Trudeau. And it doesn't matter. Here, the first comment says, what difference does it make? It doesn't matter. Like the Conservative Party, as is illustrated here, is not the Conservative Party that they were even 5 years ago, right? They're not conservative. They're not pushing for reduction in immigration. They're not pushing. Give me one conservative value that the CPC is pushing. And I'm sure that they've got some nuggets in there. But Michelle Rempel herself voted against free speech at the last convention. At the last convention I was watching closely, 2018 convention. And, right? Like, I just don't trust any of them. And they're going to put him in. Peter MacKay? Yeah, they're going to put... I can't see a situation other than an Andrew Scheer 13th ballot 51% or 49.79% or whatever percent he got. Nobody knew who he was, and he won the leadership. But by all rights, it looks like everybody's bowing to Peter MacKay. So fine, whatever. Do what you want with your party. It doesn't matter. But Stephen Harper does better against Justin Trudeau than Peter MacKay does. So put that in your pipe and smoke it, right? And maybe Stephen Harper will come out of retirement to lose to Justin Trudeau again, right? Who knows? I have no idea. But the Conservatives have not been playing a winning game for a while. Why is that? It's a question worth asking. Here's Peterborough, and this is two sides to an interesting coin. Okay? See if you can see what piqued my interest in these two stories. Well, I'll probably spell it out for you. Here we go. The Peterborough Examiner, the mayor of Peterborough, is upset that this isn't a hate crime, and the police want to hear about it. ID Canada posters in downtown Peterborough, not a hate crime, police. A Peterborough police investigation into the plastering of a white nationalist group's posters in downtown Peterborough has determined that the posters did not meet the threshold to be deemed a hate crime. The Examiner reported that ID Canada posters were posted in late December on bus shelters and electrical boxes. More of them were posted earlier this month, prompting city police to investigate. And others were then posted earlier this week along the Otonabee River, excuse me if I've got that wrong, trail. ID Canada is the internationalist group that seeks to protect Canada's identity from migration and considers diversity is in fact our greatest weakness. City Police announced Thursday afternoon that while the posters are not a hate crime, people that see potentially concerning content being posted are urged to call City Police immediately, or Crime Stoppers, or online. Do not assume police are aware of it or assume someone else has reported it, a release from City Police stated. In 2017, city police officers began handing out no hate cards, hate spelled with an 8, which explain what a hate crime is. I mean, how better to underscore how serious you are by spelling hate with an H and an 8? You know, definitely very serious. Here's a no hate card. This is what a hate crime is. Don't do that. No hate crime or incident is, and what to do if a person is a victim or witness to a hate incident. With phone numbers of various agencies, the no hate cards are available in the lobby of the police station on Water Street. Oh, they're not being distributed by police anymore? We will continue to work with our community partners to ensure our community is a place where all residents feel safe and welcome, the City Police release stated. Okay. So this was posted yesterday, and this was posted by W5 Crime. I remember 2020. I remember going to a hotel when I was young, and 2020 was on for my parents to watch, and it sounded like really serious, like 2020 is, and they hid the guy's voice and stuff. And W5 is kind of like Canada 2020. So anyway, back to CTV News. Organized break and enter gangs arrive as tourists and target Canadian neighborhoods. So they come here as tourists, and then they go robbing sprees, and then they either mail your the stolen goods home, or they pawn it off and send the cash home, right? Oh, but we want to make our communities safe for everyone. Yes, including the Chileans here to rob us, right? The willingness to act on potential hate with an 8 crime and the unwillingness to really be able to do anything, they explain and trip all over themselves for why they can't do anything about this. It is just unbelievable. You call us if somebody posts a hateful poster. You call us if somebody says diversity isn't our strength. He's had too much to think. We'll put him in a gulag for a couple of months, right, Bernie? Right? But if you're a Chilean gang, it might be a little uncomfortable to say, are you robbing people? You're Chilean and you're in an affluent North York neighborhood, which there aren't many Chileans who own North York mansions. Are you robbing someone, sir? I'm sorry, that might be racist. Welcome to 2020, post-national state. Okay, let's read the article. I'm just full of something this morning. Anyway, here we go. There's a new type of tourist coming to Canada, one that is not interested in seeing the sights this country has to offer, but in burglarizing houses, particularly in affluent neighborhoods. These break-and-enter artists are part of an international crime wave that police say has roots in South America, has crossed the Atlantic, targeting several European countries, and is now making its way to North America. It's a disturbing trend that international law enforcement agencies reveal is getting bigger and more organized. In the United States, the FBI even has a name for it, crime tourism. Police agencies in Canada, the US, and Europe report that most of these uninvited visitors are Chilean. They do not require a visa to enter Canada as a tourist. W5 contacted police forces across Canada and found examples of crime tourism from coast to coast. One of the earliest examples was in 2015 when Toronto police arrested 12 Chileans and laid over 97 charges. In Revelstoke, BC, RCMP arrested 3 Chileans who were in possession of thousands of dollars in stolen jewelry and cash. In Montreal, at least 6 Chileans were arrested by police. They were part of a gang, police say, stole more than $210,000 in cash and jewelry from one house alone. In October 2019, York Regional Police, a police force which operates near Toronto, arrested 3 Chileans and laid more than 60 charges. Foreign burglars come in. They essentially parachute into the community. They'll target different neighborhoods across the GTA, said Foley, recounting the methods used by the criminals. After they've burgled a home, the thieves either pawn the stolen goods or mail them back to Chile. Quote, we were able to get evidence to suggest that they were wiring money back home. Presumably that's from pawning our property, said Foley. In the end, Project Estradendo, excuse me if I got that wrong, recovered $2.7 million worth of stolen goods. 14 Chileans were convicted of breaking and entering offenses. Didn't they say 97 people arrested? Oh no, 97 charges. Back to this. Most pled guilty and were deported back to Chile. International tourism crime. Foley's experience mirrors that of police a half a world away in the Netherlands who have been watching organized break-and-enter gangs come into Europe via Spain and then rob their way across the continent. Dutch police have established a special task force to fight the crime tourists. Officer Nick Kienbeck told the W5 team on a tour of the suburban Amsterdam neighborhoods that are targeted by the criminals. They are very similar to the suburban neighborhoods surrounding Canadian cities, with residents away at work during the day when the criminals strike. According to Kienbeck, the criminals appear to be a step ahead of law enforcement. Quote, "We know when people are arrested, but they know when people are arrested by us, by the organized crime kicks in," said Kienbeck. "They take the people, bring them back to Chile, and new ones fly in. It's difficult because of how transient they are. It's difficult to monitor them within Canada," said Foley. "But you call us if you see somebody posting a poster that says it's okay to be white, okay?" Back to the article. Detecting these criminals. The transient nature of these criminals puts the onus on the Canadian Border Services Agency to filter these would-be criminals from entering Canada in the first place. W5 asked Public Safety Minister Bill Blair how these Chilean criminals can get into Canada past immigration and customs officers. In a written statement, the Office of the Minister of Public Safety said government's greatest responsibility is to keep its citizens safe. While we cannot comment on the specifics of any one case or file, we understand that the Canada Border Services Agency, CBSA, is aware of possible South American theft groups in Canada and has developed an effective program to identify and intercept these groups to ensure the continued safety of all Canadians. The statement did not elaborate on what the program is or how its effectiveness is measured or determined. Foley believes there's no golden ticket that's going to solve everything. Quote, "Can we stop crime tourism? I doubt we can stop crime tourism. But what I do think is if we continue to work together with all the partners, we can help reduce it. There are a few things authorities say homeowners can do to protect themselves from burglars. When out, leave the lights or a TV on to make it look like the house is occupied." Oh, thanks, CTV. In the era of global warming and skyrocketing electricity prices, just leave a TV on. The burglars probably won't steal it. Totally worth it. Yeah, right. And then this one too. Be a good neighbor and report anything suspicious or any suspicious activity to police. Like posting a poster that says Chilean migration is dangerous for Canada. Chileans shouldn't be in North York neighborhoods. Like, it's so crazy. It's just wild, right? The mayor of Peterborough is triggered because of a poster that is saying we should protect our similarities. Diversity is a danger to Canada. We should protect Canadian identity, have a Canadian identity. And the identity has been largely talked about in the press. Maxime Bernier talks about it, right? Like freedom, respect, blah, 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 all that stuff. So for that to be triggering to a mayor and for the police officer to be saying, yeah, we can't really stop it. Make sure you call us if you see something. And in the same breath say, oh yeah, but give us a call. Like, cause we're not sure if somebody else has reported it. So call us if you see something like that. It is, well, this isn't done by mistake. This is not, the police forces aren't all of a sudden switching over to handing out stupid no hate cards for no reason at all, while simultaneously having the rule of law broken down to be such that Chilean tourists can fly into Canada with impunity and rob people. This isn't, well, we've watched it in the UK, right? Like we've watched people be arrested for Twitter. We've watched Tommy Robinson, and I don't know if that's his real, I don't think that's his real name. But we've watched that whole thing play out. We've watched Julian Assange be tossed in Belmarsh. Like there are things happening, and it's not by accident. It's not by mistake, right? It is not more important to stamp out hate crimes than it is to stamp out organized crime rings. And yet our police seem to be prioritizing one over the other. It seems crazy. Our border services seem to be willing to say, oh, we're working on that. Just like they're working on everything. Oh, climate change? Yes. Just give us your taxes. Look at BC and the success they've had. Right? This isn't by mistake. Thanks for watching, everybody. Check out CanadaPoly.com, CanadaReport.co, and have a wonderful, wonderful